Today, in this video taken from our Yin Academy course, I'm going to show you how to get into deer pose. I personally really enjoy this pose because working on the pose in a Yin way allows me to really understand what to look for when I'm adding this pose into my Yang sequences. And you can have a lot of fun and use this pose in transitioning from one side into the other. Maybe if you're doing some mandala in your practice, then you may know what I'm referring to, and it can be a really fun pose to add to your practice. So take a moment, have a look, experience with it, maybe even try to change one side to the other, and let me know how this feels for you. So right now we'll have a look at our deer pose. It's a very, very nice pose if you'd like to create more space throughout your hips and just work your hips in a gentle way, because you don't have to lower the upper body down. You can just stay on your hands, and this is already a lot. Really good pose if you'd like to work more on your lock pose, right? So this is an intermediate that will bring you there as well. So what we're looking to have is, from a seated position, one leg comes to the front, one leg goes to the back. And what you want to see is two 90-degree angle in both knees. So from the hips, we keep the same line with the knee, and we create this 90-degree angle in both knees. Yeah, really good. And so initially, when you come into that pose, you may feel pulled towards going to one side. And if that's the case, then see if your knee on the other side can be pushed out a bit more. Yeah, in such a way that you find more ground with your sitting bones. Good. And I personally recommend that you move a little bit before releasing into that pose for a longer period of time. So my invitation is just to lift your arms up, lift your knees up, and then go do the exact same thing onto the other side. Good. Important, if you can, is to lift both knees at the same time and maybe flex your foot a little bit if you have sensitive knees. Yeah, so you protect them. Good. And it's not so easy to do, but it's a good exercise to really reinforce your mobility as well. Good. So once you come back into stillness, you can, like I said, just stay upright, and that's already a lot. But if you'd like to go more into this pose, you could always reach further down with your hands, just the hands, and that's already applying more pressure, or even coming all the way down, which is also a sort of a pigeon pose that we get here, modified pigeon, but we'll see. Depending on your mobility, I would personally say that's maybe too much for you. So staying on your hands could be good. Not necessarily you're good. And if you need support, you could always have blankets or cushions under your knees if they're sensitive. But you could also eventually, if the knees are really locked, use a block to sit on. So it's not something that I've commonly seen using the block, but I know that you can use it if really you need it. So take a moment to explore that pose and make it yours.